Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is Societal Narcissism. This video is sponsored by contribution from Monica. And this is a little different because Monica is sponsoring a video for her sister as a gift. And because everything that went down last year, this was actually sent to me at the end of November last November. So after everything, I had to shut everything down. I am just getting to it now. So it appears that Monica's sister has written me a letter for me to read. So here's Monica's sister's letter. Hey Ollie, I'm sharing the story of my best friend Bill, who has been enduring the presence of his vile cluster B disordered nutjob of a mom throughout his entire life. I'll refer to her as Monster because she doesn't deserve the title of mother. I hope this letter has no typos or awful grammar because I am German. I'll try to keep it as clear and concise as possible. But so many fucked up things happened in his life, and it seems relevant to your channel. Bill lives in Sweden while I live in Germany. Our 10-year friendship has been exclusively online, and we regularly chat and FaceTime. I witnessed numerous of Monster's cruelties during calls, both in youth and these days. Bill, who is 25 years old, resides with the Monster in Stockholm. For those unfamiliar, the housing market there is extremely challenging. As soon as you turn 18, you sign up to be in the housing queue, where wait times are currently at least 12 years. Jeez. You got to sign up to be in a queue? I mean, I guess that's for state housing. Only then you can choose a rental flat provided by the state. That's why it's very common for young adults to be stuck with their parents beyond their late 20s. There's simply no flats. Well, it's the same, and it's the same problem here. Same exact thing going on here. Whereas it's not necessarily waiting 12 years for a state apartment. It's just nobody can afford anything anymore. The Monster is a 65-year-old single hag who hasn't worked for the last 30 years and has two daughters. The oldest, from a different father, is about 20 years older than Bill and married a Swedish celebrity at a young age. She has two kids and brings them to the Monster's home every time she and her celebrity spouse travel or attend events, which is often. She is wealthy and part of high society thanks to her in-laws. The Monster is obsessed with her and either praises her wealth and smart life choices or devalues her for being selfish, arrogant snob who doesn't care. Oh yeah, that's gotta burn her. That's gotta burn her that her oldest daughter married to a celebrity and is, I guess, rolling in money. I guess not much of that money is being filtered downhill, huh? I bet if it was, she wouldn't be such an arrogant snob who didn't care. His other sister, Kara, is 2 years older than Bill, and he considers her his best friend. Unfortunately, with the help of her boyfriend's family connection, not unfortunately, fortunately, with the help of her boyfriend's family's connections, she recently moved into their own flat. The Monster got furious and tantrums went on for weeks because how dare she abandon her? How will she survive financially without her daughter? Ever since Kara moved out, Bill has been solely providing for his mom financially and enduring all her wrath and abuse. His mental and physical state is at its lowest. My understanding that Bill is the scapegoat and Kara is the golden child, mom's best friend, his surrogate therapist. Maybe? The fact that she listen, this is clearly a borderline personality disordered boomer mother. She's jealous of her first daughter. She's jealous of her second daughter. Okay. Yeah, so he probably, you know what? He probably is the gold. Yeah, so he probably is the golden child son husband. And he doesn't want her to bear the brunt. Well, doesn't want him maybe to bear all the financial burden. Because she's already married to him emotionally. Yeah, I don't, right, right. I'm sorry. Yeah, Bill is not, I don't think Bill's the scapegoat. I think Bill's the golden child. Kara's the scapegoat. Very rarely do you have two females and a male, and the male isn't the golden child, and the daughters aren't the scapegoats. Very rarely. My understanding is Bill is the scapegoat and Kara is the golden child, mom's best friend and surrogate therapist. That doesn't mean Kara is not being abused. There is constant drama between them, but Kara eventually appeases her mother and has excuses for her in front of her brother, saying things like, "Mom has it so hard and was abused as a child. We got to be there for her." Since Kara is the one who listens to her mother's mental vomit with empathy, patience, and soothing responses, she gets a pass for normal things the monster deems unacceptable. That way she's able to live her life a little more freely than Bill. Kara would complain and cry about the monster to Bill, only to continue enabling her. Classic. I don't think is. Let's read on. Their upbringing was marked by their parents' separation when Bill was 4 years old. Dad, an acclaimed musician, got kicked out by the monster, and as mandated by Swedish authorities, children have to live with both parents the same amount of time. This meant Bill and Kara stayed with their father every other week. Bill shared me with that. Bill shared with me that his happiest childhood memories are from his dad's place in the countryside. His dad was a kind-hearted, calm, and gentle man who spent a lot of quality time with his kids. However, when dad got a new girlfriend, the monster demonized both the dad and the new gold digger slut in front of the kids. The new gorgeous girlfriend, despite being liked by the kids, faced criticism. There was quite an age gap, and the monster joked that dad has 3 kids now, or that they were being babysat by a teenager, even though she was in her mid to late 20s. The happy times came to an end when the said girlfriend broke up with Bill's dad, who became depressed and started drinking. He was never violent or aggressive, but as soon as the monster found out about it, she saw an opportunity. Her mission to get the kids to herself began. It's almost impossible to get a parent removed from their right of contact in Sweden. For reference, my Swedish cousin fought for 8 years to get her ex-husband removed, even though her son came back with bruises and peed his pants whenever he had to go to be with his father. The monster somehow managed to achieve that within weeks. Bill described his mother as a master manipulator who couldn't be sweeter, more charming and convincing when surrounded by people from outside the family circle. Her favorite role is that of a victim who got wronged by everyone and nobody can be trusted, especially not men and authorities. Framing his dad as an abusive alcoholic did the job, and on top of that, she claimed that dad touched his daughter inappropriately. When I asked about it, Bill said he talked to Kara about the sexual abuse allegations, but she doesn't remember anything. In her words, if mom says so, it must be true. Why would she come up with something this horrific? There's a good reason dad is no longer in our life. However, I'm telling you this. I think Kara was the scapegoat who went along with your mother. This is what happened with Kara. Kara was the scapegoat until your mother needed her on a bullshit, her mother needed her on a bullshit sexual assault, or Bill's mother needed her to go along with this bullshit sexual assault thing on the father. And then she had to be more nurturing, so she stuck to her story. She's still the scapegoat. She's still a scapegoat. You don't do that to a golden child. Do that to a scapegoat. You make the scapegoat believe that their father did something like that to them. You don't do that to the golden child because you're really not trying to screw. They're not trying to screw up the golden child. They're trying to screw up the scapegoat. And what might be going on with Bill is Bill's a golden child who didn't want to be a golden child. So he fought back. But I think in Bill's mother's mind, he's always going to be the golden child. There's a good reason Dad is no longer in our life. However, Bill thinks this is out of their dad's character. His gut feeling is that it's most likely a lie, but he would never dare share this thought because what if he's wrong? Sometime after the father was removed, the following happened. He and his new partner knocked on their door in the late evening, and the monster started yelling like a maniac, which made the kids, who were around 10 years old, very terrified. An argument broke out, and the adults were shouting back and forth through the closed door. His dad and his partner, whom he is now married to with 2 adult stepdaughters, said the monster can't just ghost and take the kids away from him. The monster shrieked like a slaughtered pig, calling him a rapist, an alcoholic, and threatened to call the police, while yelling to the neighbors, there is a break-in attempt. They left, and that was the last time Bill and Kara heard their father's voice. That's why I moved to Florida. To avoid that. Bill describes this event as very traumatic because the monster kept scaring her kids for months and years, claiming that Dad might try to break in or kidnap them any day. Bill was in denial at first, but the more the monster framed the dad as threatening, violent person, the more he started to live in fear. Imagine a kid watching the door in the evenings and trying to soothe the mother who was spewing overblown horror scenarios. Another traumatic memory from Bill's childhood was on his first day of school. He remembers that all he can think of that day was feeling sadness for his mother, who was all by herself, most likely anxious and sad. Bill didn't cry because he missed his mother. He cried because he wasn't there for her while worrying that she might be upset. I'm sharing this because I consider their relationship to be incestuous. Yes, he is a son husband. A son husband is a golden child. Always. You got the dynamic wrong. He is, I said, he is her son husband. She is married to him emotionally. The monster may not have sexually abused him, but she made her young kids her caretakers, partners, best friends, as well as her emotional dumpsters. The monster's well-being and moods dictated the children's everyday life, and they provided for her in all regards. As soon as they were teenagers, they took jobs on the side to help pay her bills. And later, when both Bill and Kara started to go to uni, their entire student loans were used to pay all the bills as well as the monster's debts. Throughout their childhood and to this day, she runs the same strategy, getting national assistance and social care money for the apartment, as well as basic needs such as groceries. The state approves the payments for a year or so and then reevaluates the needs. It's meant for the short term, and it's expected that she gets a job to provide for herself as soon as possible. Yeah, right. In order to prevent going to work, the monster complies temporarily and checks out the job's place for her, only to then claim that the simple job is too hard for her, or that she got mistreated, bullied, you name it. The authorities do not accept that and place more job offers, so the monster would get a medical certificate that she is unable to work due to a new mental health problem. The money from the state should suffice to survive well. However, we are dealing with a person who overspends on unnecessary luxury items. For herself, not her kids. She wants to show off to her rich in-laws, after all. She claims to get less money than beggars on the street and refugees. On top of that, she has a habit of not opening letters in the mail. The debts stack up, and then her teenage, adolescent, and adult children need to come to her rescue. The money taken from her kids used to be for emergencies, but has come standard and a given because they have always been a broke family, and every month there is an emergency. She would rather abuse her kids financially than ever have to admit to her wealthy daughter that they are in trouble out of pride because her celebrity son-in-law may not know how pathetic she is. She would rather leech off her children and overspend than get a job. I think she's pissed that the son-in-law isn't paying all her bills. I don't think she's embarrassed in the least bit. And the problem is your relationship with Bill is all online. Like you're seeing everything through a screen. And though it might be, you think you're seeing everything, you're not. It's impossible. When we became friends, I learned what his life has been like, and I encouraged him to seek professional help, and he did. In fact, as a 16-year-old, Bill managed to get out of that home for a few months. He did not warn his mother and confided with an adult from the self-help group for children he was part of. Ironically, Mom sent him there to deal with everything his dad allegedly did to them. Bill was placed in a foster family, and the monster got ordered not to contact him. However, the social workers encouraged him to make peace with his mother as soon as he was ready. She seemed truly remorseful, confused, and sorry about all this and seemed honest. And she seemed honest, they said. At some point, she agreed to meet his oldest sister. But it turned out that he only got invited so the flying monkey could guilt trip him into coming back, as well as handing over love-bombing letters and gifts from the monster. Unfortunately, Bill gave in and agreed to seeing his mother for an hour visit around Christmas time. He moved back in just a few days later. I felt sick when I heard it, and told him to be careful, expressing my concern that I think she has not changed. Yeah, did she admit she lied about the father? She admit to anything? They never change. Indeed, what followed was the monster's initial relief, and love bombing slowly turned into the most vile accusations yelled at him. He embarrassed her in front of everybody, making her out to be the villain after everything she had been through and had done for him. He was not allowed to go anywhere other than school for a while. Both he and her would refer to this entire event as their darkest chapter, and I, as a friend, got ghosted by him for months. This is what happens when a wife puts their foot down and they think they got their husband. They caught him cheating. He's out drinking with his friends. This is the incident she will use to berate him for the rest of his life. He contacted me with an apology and admitted that he felt he wouldn't have gone through all this pain with the foster situation if it weren't for me and others encouraging him to do it. However, he realized he was wrong and that he was shifting blame at the wrong people. That said, his mom became even more toxic and deranged. When he was 19, Bill decided to take his first trip abroad to visit me, as well as to attend a concert by his favorite band. The monster tried everything to sabotage it and even attempted to find out my address. He got on the plane anyway. Unfortunately, he could not enjoy it because his phone exploded with calls and texts. She went back and forth between love bombing him and the worst name calling imaginable. Dude, this is crazy when this is crazy ex-girlfriend. He's married to his mother. He's married to his mother. She's crazy ex-girlfriend, but he's married to her. I'm so proud of you that you're independent and brave to travel alone. I love you. Only 2 hours later, she says, you're killing me. You're ruining my life. How dare you leave me like this? What if something happened to me? You only care about yourself. You selfish, ungrateful disgrace of a son. You think you can handle yourself on your own. You are a child who knows nothing. His sister messaged him that she is disappointed. How could he do this to mom? He knows how fragile and broken she is, and that she even mentioned suicide. When he returned from the trip, why didn't he just shut his phone off? Why didn't he just take his phone, shut his phone off? He's getting it from two of them. So obviously he don't have to be there in case of an emergency. The sister's there. Like, he's a glutton for punishment. He likes it. At some point, I think he likes it. He likes being a part of the drama. He's in another country. He's on a plane. And why is he reading texts from both his mother and his, like, shut the phone off? Unless he's just trying to invite you into the drama. Unless he's trying to get you to be the target, the new target for his mother. Got to consider it. When he returned from the trip, he brought a friend over, and the monster was sweet. As soon as he left, she threw objects and threatened Bill never to do that again. She claimed that she almost died over this, and he is the reason she needs to take antidepressants. If anyone still thinks she is a struggling single mom, here is a list with more of her abusive shit. Being sweet and charming to his friends, only talk negatively about them when they are gone, suggesting they are not true friends, have ulterior motives, and they will betray you. Hourly calls, texts with questions about his whereabouts, what exactly is doing, random memes, baiting for attention. She demands an immediate response. Guilt tripping for seeing friends, going to parties, or staying overnight. For guilt tripping for seeing friends, going to parties, or staying anywhere overnight without asking or informing her, followed by tantrums upon his arrival back home. You are the only son who treats his mother like this. We live together. You need to tell me exactly where and when. Anytime he had a drink, you're an alcoholic like your father, along with the accusations of drug abuse or engaging in illegal activities with his friends. He's dropping on his calls and conversations, patrolling by his doctor and pretending to be doing something only to confront him about what she just heard, interrogating him about who he talked to and interact with that day. All females are potential love interests and deemed flawed if he hangs out with a buddy for too long, accusations of being gay. When he was younger, forbidding him to talk to strangers on the internet when he was clearly only gaming and laughing. They are groomers and pedophiles. Now he is an adult. They're all scammers or catfishing. He has developed the habit of pausing conversation when he assumes she is nearby. This just goes on and on and on and on. She clutters his room. So this is all just more guilt tripping whenever he buys something for himself, which is where when he gets himself a meal outside or snack, she's pissed he didn't bring. So she's just a jealous borderline girlfriend. That's it. Now as an adult, Bill says, Mom stole my father and my childhood from me. His dad has been leaving messages to his son every year on his birthday, which he sends to the monster's Facebook. She either does not forward them to her son or mentions them briefly to get a reaction, which he never gives. The monster then accuses Bill of still caring and wondering about Dad, and she refreshes his mind about how his father ruined their lives. Bill and Kara have no contact with their father to this day. About 3 years ago, the stepdaughters reached out to Bill on social media and shared how she likes his father, who is a great stepdad, and that he cares and talks about Bill and Kara every day. Unfortunately, Bill blocked her out of fear of repercussions. At this point, he has become someone I barely recognize. It's like the monster sucked every drop of energy out of the well as the will to live out of him. He has 2 broken discs. He's depressed and as well as constantly sick and exhausted. This has this he has this tired, absent look in his eyes these days, and it breaks my heart. When I confront him about leaving her, preparing a secret escape, and the necessity to go no contact forever, his response is that he wishes she would just die from cancer tomorrow. However, he can never leave her because that would be his and her demise. Even if she were to mismanage, even if she were to manage just fine eventually, he could never live with that guilt. Besides, he could never go no contact with Kara or his beloved nephew, or the housing situation in Sweden adds to the hopelessness. All right, look, Monica's sister. Because I don't know your name, Monica's sister. The fact that you have so much detail about this guy's suffering, and I didn't even read, like, I skipped over the list of everything, like I skipped over half of it. Yeah, I mean, you realize, because it was just one incident after another, after another, after another, after another. This is a guy you met once, and everything is online. And what you are being is the son husband's emotional douchebag. Just one problem after another, and he doesn't take any solutions. He don't listen to any of it, and you have all of this detail into this dude's life. And he might be abused. He might be a scapegoat. I think he's a golden child. I think he's doing the same thing to you that his family did to him. He is a time waster. He is a pity merchant. He is out looking, finding the pity that he has to give his mother. He is now downstreaming it to you, and you are absorbing all of his bullshit. 10 years of this, 10 years you've been listening to this dude, and obviously you must have some real feeling for him. But I'm sorry, it's not real. This guy, this Bill, is not who you think he is. After 10 years and because you couldn't know any of that unless he's there, you're there, like, you're telling you over and over and over. How much of your life have you wasted listening to this guy who clearly likes being the son husband? I always tell him it can't go on like this, that he will make it out with a good support system, with therapy, or by talking to other abuse victims who made it out. Bill's response is he can't deal with stories from others or this entire subject. It just triggers him and makes him feel more miserable and angry. He just wants to wallow in the misery because he's getting his supply from you. From you caring about him and you begging him, and he's not listening. He's that abuse woman. His abuser, he keeps going back. He keeps going no matter what you tell him, no matter how many times. You're wasting your time. And he is stealing your time from you. He will not take any actions. For years I have been sending him videos, threads, support channels, and the like, but things are only getting worse. I even offered him a place to stay. He can work remotely if he decides to leave and go no contact. And what did he say? No? Recently, I asked him the following. If he had all the money in the world and a moving car was waiting by his doorstep, if there was a guarantee she could not find him or contact him, what would he take the opportunity? And the answer was no. I could never be sure. She would always find me or haunt me and talk crap about me, and the guilt would kill me. I have been through I've been through that when I was in foster care, so I know how awful I will feel. Well, he's the son husband, and he likes it. And you're being The son husband's emotional douchebag. It's just the way it is. He is a mama's boy. He likes being a mama's boy, and he likes wasting your time. Boy, man, like these are the type of people that just drive you insane. And I understand how 10 years probably having the same conversation with him over and over and over again. He's getting off on it. Having observed all this for so long makes me miserable myself, and I'm starting to think it's time to let go of this friendship, no matter how much I care. Sometimes I will simply not get help and seek support. Let me ask you this: what do you get out of this relationship, Monica's sister? What are you getting out of it? Because I can promise you what happens anytime you've ever tried to talk to him about anything about him. He immediately like, yeah, and then so does just like, and then switches it back to himself. He's unavailable. He's got something else to do at that point. 100%. He wants to be the son husband. He's not that into, like, he doesn't care about you the way you care about him. He just likes bitching to you and wasting your time. The funny thing is he can't get away from his mother. Yet, somehow, some way, he has been able for 10 years to bitch to you. Because you were only there with him once, so that you saw firsthand. But the rest of it, all of it, he had to tell you. He had to tell you, has to keep telling you, has to keep showing you. He has no problem telling you with her around, but he can't leave. You're being played by this guy. That he's not afraid of. He's not afraid to sit there and tell you every single detail of everything she's ever done and complain about it over and over and over and over and over again. That somehow he can find time and privacy to do, but he can't. He can't get away from her. He's so afraid of her. Oh, she'll find me. But I'll shit talk her all day for hours on end in her house. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? He's so afraid of her, but he's going to shit talk her for 10 years in her own house. I mean, come on. Realize when you're being used, and you're being used. Sometimes people simply will not get help and seek support. This monster is exactly the type of person you're calling out in your estranged parents videos, Ollie. When Bill graduated or got a filmmaker's award, the monster would give the most pompous, touching speeches about how proud she is and what an amazing person he is. Not to him, but to relatives and friends. She would apologize in front of authorities and therapists for how she did not know how much her son was suffering from the separation and trauma around his dad, that she wished she would have been a better mom. But it's all fake. These parents break you if you do not get out as soon as you can. Bill feels so hopeless. Bill feels so hopeless with his self-esteem crushed. He thinks he is damaged and doomed for life. Stop pitying Bill. Fuck Bill. F Bill. Bill sucks. Bill sucks. Bill knows what he's doing. Bill has wasted 10 years of your life because you like Bill and Bill don't like you in the same way, because if he did, he'd figure it out. He just likes wasting your time. Anyway, Ollie, thank you for the amazing, important work you do, your never-ending patience and support. We all appreciate you so much. P.S. One day, the monster told Bill she learned about narcissism on the internet and gave him a resume about their behaviors in a mocking manner. They will never get it. Well, it's just gaslighting. But, Monica's sister, realize you're being used. Realize he's wasting your time. He's not a friend. There is no future. He enjoys being the son husband. He likes that shit. He likes that shit. Sometimes The son husband, they like it. And all you're being is his emotional douchebag where he just vomits all his no for hours on end and then does nothing about it. And here you are crying over him. Please. He thinks you're a fool. And stop. And so stop. Don't be his fool. Don't be the narcissist son husband's fool. Don't. So I hope that helps. And thank you, Monica's sister, for the story. Thank you, Monica, for donating. I'm sorry it took so long to get to this. And I hope it's I think it is because you sent me a reminder. So obviously she's Monica's sister. Monica, tell your sister, Bill's a loser. Okay? Bill's a loser. Next time Bill calls you, Monica's sister, and sorry, kind lust. In German, kind lust. No desire for this shit anymore. None. Hope that helps. So, again, thank you so much for your contribution and the story. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, something you'd like to expose, you'd like to set up a Skype, a phone call, have a private video made, you'd like to sponsor a video like this for someone who needs help and can't afford it, or just make a contribution to the channel in general to keep it supported, growing, and successful, because this channel survives 100% on contributions from all of you. Without you guys, all this goes away. So if you like what you see here and you want to see more videos like this, you know what to do with either the Cash App, Zelle, PayPal, and email links in the description box below. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. Also, be sure to follow me on both Rumble, on both my Rumble channels, and follow me both on X and Telegram as well. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been Societal Narcissism. Take care, everyone.